So, I want to take a minute and talk about PTSD and what it's like to suffer from it. Um, no, I was not in the military. I know from experience, anytime you mention PTSD, the question is always, how long did you serve? Where did you serve? All that. Um, but no, I never served in the military, yet do have PTSD. And it is a bitch. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, every day, it's debilitating. I mean, between the depression, the anxiety, the rage I get at times, and yeah, it just makes life very, very difficult. And then, when you go to sleep at night, you think that's a time for you to rest and forget about everything and restart for the next day. But in my case, with my PTSD, I suffer from night terrors and I've had a few cases of sleep paralysis. And I gotta say, the sleep paralysis is a very scary thing. You're awake, but you cannot move. It takes somebody to physically move you, like wake you up, to be able to move. Your brain's awake, but your body's not. I don't know how exactly it works, but it's scary as hell. I can tell you that. But back to my point, all these people out here dealing with PTSD and stuff like that, or just depression and anxiety, you know, all of them can be very debilitating and give you very, very little enthusiasm to be able to get up and do what you need to do, even just get up to go to work, or even just to get up out of bed and transfer to the couch, which I can't really do because of my PTSD and anxiety. I can't sit still. But I have found that the main thing that helps me is fitness and working out. And due to my medical history and surgical history, um, I am very limited on what I can do. So when you guys see my reels on Instagram, it's not that I don't want to lift a lot more weight. It's not that I can't lift more weight. It's the fact that I'm not supposed to. I'm taking a big risk by lifting too heavy. But anytime I go into that gym, I feel like my every darkness that's within my brain just vanishes and I see the light and I'm able to focus on that and I burn it off very well. Like I come out of there feeling great. The endorphins are rushing, everything. But that only lasts for so long. And then I come home and I start it all over again. Um, I just really don't know. I don't know how to explain it in a way that everybody would understand. You kind of have to have it and deal with it to understand it. Like, but one of the main things that does keep me going is in 2018, I had a medically induced coma done due to a perforated ulcer and diabetic ketoacidosis, which left me on dialysis for 4 weeks. It took me an extra week to wake up, so that gives me 5 weeks. Um, then, after I woke up, they transferred me to a rehab center in Dulles, Virginia. And I didn't know what was going on. I had lost 10 years worth of memory. I was completely oblivious to the circumstances. So what did I do? Not even 24 hours of being in rehab, I tried to get out of bed at 140 pounds. My legs were so weak they could not support my body weight, and I collapsed, smashed my head, and right back to the hospital. Spent another week and a half in the hospital before being transferred back to a rehab center, which helped me to recover, and I can see progress every single day. it seemed like, the harder I worked, the quicker everything got better. But at the same time, I couldn't push my limits. But I eventually overcame that experience, which is a very small section of my story regarding my health and just my past in general. But yeah, since then, since 2018, so 3 years, I'm up to 190 pounds, um, in very great shape. Other than my mental health, my physical health seems to be very stable. Um, I did just have an emergency surgery back in August of this year, which was supposed to be a planned surgery for September 25th, but my body said, hell no, we're getting it done now. And it decided to screw me over. And I went into surgery with a 50-50 chance of coming out with a permanent colonoscopy bag. And I was petrified of that, but at the same time, the pain was so unbearable that I had to have this surgery done. It was either I I shouldn't say it was either. I had a piece of my insides dying due to strangulation, and I kept asking my mom in the hospital, "Am I dying? Am I dying?" Because that seemed like it was right around the corner. Like I lived with chronic pain for a very long time and took absurd amounts of pain medication that was prescribed. But this pain outdid everything. And once the surgeons found the problem, fixed the problem, did the reconstruction that I had scheduled for September, they told me and my mother that the condition, what was going on inside of me, there was nothing they were going to give me to overdo to fix the pain, to make the pain even a little bit bearable. I mean, I was getting Dilaudid, fentanyl, they even tried ketamine. Um, and actually, when it came to the fentanyl, a nurse came in to give me an IV dose of fentanyl, and he was shaking. So I was kind of concerned. I'm like, "Do you mind if I ask you why you're shaking?" And he looked at me and said, "To be honest, I've never administered this high of a dose of fentanyl in one shot." And that was kind of bothersome to me because I was like, "Oh my God, is this going to overdose me?" And at that point, if they were going to overdose me and end up having to intubate me and keep me under, that was better than dealing with the pain for sure. But at the same time, I've been there, done that, and I lost 10 years worth of memory due to it because of oxygen depletion. And it was not an overdose again, it was the ulcer perforation in 2018. But yeah, even I think it was like 820 milligrams of fentanyl, and it didn't touch my pain at all. It was like taking Tylenol. It didn't do anything. But yeah, I know I kind of went on one hell of a rant right here. Um, and I could continue to rant, but instead, I'm just going to get to my main point with this. When you find or hear about somebody having PTSD, please don't assume that they are military or were military, because PTSD isn't strictly a military disease. It is post traumatic stress disorder. So basically, if you've had a very traumatic incident in your past, it can cause PTSD, whether you were military or not. So please give the same respect to people that have not served but still suffer from PTSD. And the other part that I want to mention is no matter what your circumstances are and no matter where you are in life, you can always get better. You can always move forward. And that's what I did and I am continuing to do. Um, so set your mind to it and get at it. That's the best advice I can give you is just get at it. Get it done.